game. They told me, I mean, when I saw it happen, I mean, first of all, I'm saying, how did we not block that punt? Second of all, I just assumed it would be a 5-yard penalty. But he said that because the guy was in the air and we didn't have anywhere to land, or he didn't have anywhere to land, that it was a roughing penalty. But it's tough when you got, 4 guys back there that have a chance to block a punt, and we don't block it and get a roughing out of it.
Coach, you opened up talking about third downs. I don't think you guys converted one to the final 2 minutes.
Third downs.
7 for 17. Is there
Punts.
anything, could be nothing, that leads to a strategy like that?
Being good on first and second down, keeping yourself out of third downs, first of all.
About the rest of the game,
we
Beam.
didn't do enough job
About
at
not
halftime,
scoring any
19
points in the fourth
plays,
quarter again.
Period. I mean, I'm sitting there at this.
Or in the second
I'm
half.
saying to myself, how in the heck is it 17-14? I think they had 47 plays of offense, and we had 19 at halftime. I think the time of possession at halftime was like 22-8.
Anybody else
And
over
we
listening
had
to this
we had a couple
guy?
big plays that got the
Besides
14
me.
points that we had right there. But I think on third down,
Anybody
I think
done with
Coach would
these
tell you,
reporters
you gotta
that
be
ask the
first and
dumbest
second
ass
down
questions?
to stay out of those third down situations. And
The game's over
great
with,
job
dude. We
on
lost.
first and second down, and then
Season's over with,
key
dude.
for us was
None of
guys
these
had to make
questions is
plays
worth anything
today.
now.
In these games, Dabo said it the other day.
Oh, Stampede says we're the worst team in the SEC.
And, they do what they do.
Oh, right there with Kentucky and Mississippi State. Yeah.
And their guys
We're right
made
there with
plays,
them,
and our
brother.
guys made
At
some
least
plays, and we made some
Arkansas
great
can
individual
score
efforts
points.
today,
They're
but,
better than South
we
Carolina.
just needed to-
We
needed
can't score
coach to play
points.
better
We
down
can't do
those third
shit.
down situations.
You've talked a lot this season about an emphasis on dominating the fourth quarter. One-score game going into it today, lose 8-0, only won 2 of those fourth quarters this season. What do you think happened today specifically in the fourth quarter, and how much has that contributed to the season that you had?
Wow.
I think today was our
Andrew says Arkansas, but at least they can score points,
one-score
Andrew.
game, if I'm not mistaken. Going into the fourth quarter.
They can score more than 20 points a game offensively.
LSU was a one-score
Tennessee
game.
just
Alabama
scored.
was a one-score game. Missouri was a one-score game. Texas A&M was a one-score game. I'm trying to think who else in the middle of the season.
And you failed to
I think it was
close.
7 today. Was the 7th one-score game going into the fourth quarter. And
7th one-score
we came
game
together
going to
on
the fourth
50-yard
quarter.
line like we always
We
do,
can't close
said,
the
"Here we
deal,
are."
bruh.
You know, this is 15 minutes, and you guys can leave your legacy here with how we go play in these last 15 minutes. Had momentum and thought we were going to, win the game in the fourth quarter, and what a story it would be, and it didn't happen. Turnovers, lack of execution, poor coaching, all of it. We've been, as you guys heard me say, I mean, in the past is in the past, but we've been a
Poor
really good
coaching.
fourth quarter team around here, and we were last year in this game when we won the game in the fourth quarter with plays on offense, defense, special teams, and we just can't turn the ball over in the fourth quarter, and we got to perform better than what we did. But certainly something that we'll look at in regards to next season. I think it's so I don't. Sounds like an excuse, but we'll be older, and got to learn how to win and finish those games out. And we did not do a great job of it. This season we did in the Virginia Tech game when we played well in the fourth quarter. But after that, we've had opportunities to
And
win.
Virginia Tech fired
a
their
lot of
coach,
football
dumbass.
games by just
Not a very good football
finishing
team.
the game against A&M, Missouri, and Alabama because we were leading those games going into the fourth quarter.
And you lost.
If we just don't score, they don't score. We're sitting here at whatever we are, 7-5.
But you're
We
not.
finish those games.
You're not.
It'll
Beamer,
be a focal
you're 4-8,
point this
bro.
Season when our guys get back here in January to be a hell of a lot better in the fourth quarter than what we were this season.
You mentioned how excited you are for next season and
Excited.
guys coming back. At this point, do you
fucking
think
guy.
Lenore Sellers will be a Gamecock next year?
Yeah, I mean, you got to ask Lenore that. I'm focused on today's game, Jordan. I'm not going to dissect and give you an analysis of what the 26 roster is going to look like, but I do know this.
Beamer's excited about next year. I'd be more excited if he wasn't a coach.
Feeling again, and also understand how freaking close we are to being where we want to be.
That's how delusional this guy is. So I'm excited about next season coming off a loss to Clemson. Coming off a 4-8 season where you're 1-7 against the SEC, and he's excited about next season.
There's a very motivated group of guys in that locker room that are excited about what's next. I do know that. And again,
Yeah, because they're all hitting the transfer portal. They're excited, all right, Beamer.
Shane, Alshon was in town this week, and he was saying no one wants to go through a season like what you guys are going through, but that there are lessons to be learned as a player. What do you hope that your players can take out of this season and lessons that they can?
I don't. This is 2 out of the last 3 years. 5-7, 4-8, with a 9-win season in the middle.
Appreciate him saying that, and he's exactly right.
This ain't one season, guys.
The heartbreak
I don't
of
care
this
what
season, and that's
Alshon
what I
said.
love about this team. We talked about it last night at our hotel.
It's the players that
where
your ass. The reason
there
you
was
even
so
got a
many
job,
weeks
Beamer,
where
because the players,
we
former
absolutely got
players,
our
wanted your dumb ass.
guts absolutely ripped out of our bodies.
We now know
Saturdays.
not to let
And that
former
sounds
players make
crazy
decisions
intense,
about our
it's true.
coaching
I mean,
staff
we got our
anymore.
guts ripped out with some heartbreaking
As a
losses
lesson learned out of
every
this.
single week. There was no,
What's
like,
up, the Bandit? How you
motivation
doing,
to
buddy?
boat and put our guts back together and go work. They just went back to work.
If
and
history
competed.
tracks, he
So,
should overperform.
one,
Yeah,
testament to the
unfortunately, I
culture
think
and
people
then the
figured
lessons
us
that
out
you
now.
take out of that. I think one I would hope is just the details of plays.
Stampede wants
I
a
don't
new
wanna sit here
coach
and
in
dissect every play from
2027.
Today's game, but I mean, there's so many plays of just
Overperform versus next year. Let's say Vegas is going to say we're
making plays in this game.
have us
And then
over
just
under
understanding how we
3.5,
hold our
4.5.
players. What a fine line.
Andrew says
it
the
is
arrows are pointing
between
down.
winning and losing. I still remember my
I know the
dad's
heads are down,
team at
Andrew,
Virginia Tech.
and the arrows,
Later,
buddy.
God
You're
saved
right.
us this year, 6 games in
Even
the
if it
fourth
was
quarter
a,
and
say you
won
had
2.
positives
And then
where
this
it looked
year,
like the
won 9,
offense
went
was
to
going to be a lot
29
better,
straight
you had
games,
something
whatever it was after
promising that
and went
looked.
on a run.
I ain't
And I
seen
would
it.
hope that our team would
One thing I
understand
noticed
that
about his tenure
every week
is
in
he
this league, it is an
overperforms.
absolute
Or
battle.
underperforms because
And when you play a team like
2023,
that today,
he
it is an
underperformed. This
absolute
year,
battle because that's an
underperformed by a
SEC
big
roster with the talent they
margin.
have. It's why they've got multiple first-round
It'd be
draft
hard
picks
for
on
Beamer to win
defense
8 games
and Cade's
next
a
year with a
warrior,
9-game
great
SEC
young man,
schedule.
great
He's not
player.
winning 8 games.
And they've got great players, and this ain't high school where you can just roll the ball out sometimes.
Bennett says I
Another
keep
team
hitting
in this
sin
league,
too
man,
quickly.
in the SEC, every week is a war, and just understanding the details where every play matters, and then just the
It's
leadership that
awful,
you gotta
man.
have. There's a lot of guys. You know, we have a lot of.
We don't even have
seniors,
leadership in
seniors that
coaching,
play
let
well
alone
on offense and
leadership on the
defense
field.
today. There's not a lot of them. So I would hope that we'll be battle tested and hardened, and we've been in some pressure situations this season. A&M and all that, where the game's on the line in the fourth quarter, like today, and we didn't make those plays like Elijah said in the fourth quarter. But I hope we'll remember that feeling and be better because of it next season that we've gone through this. I hate that we've gone through this. I hate it for the seniors that don't come back, but I can 1,000,000,000% promise you this: when we have a hell of a season in 2026, and when I'm doing this press conference after the Clemson game next year, and we finish the regular season, that because of the success that we're going to have next season, I know we will, we're going to look back at this season and say it sucked going through it, but because of what we went through in 25, it led us to what we just did in 26. I'm 1,000,000%
Fucking guy, dude.
confident in that.
Shane Beamer's delusional.
Is it possible you could have your OC in place by signing day? And will the OC have a lot of say as to what the new OC have a lot of say as to what the offensive staff will look like?
Yeah, again, we'll talk more about dissecting what's next and coming forward. Again, I'm going to look at everything, Phil, the entire staff, and do the things that I need to do to elevate this program, offense, defense, and special teams. So we've got a lot of really good coaches on the staff, and we all know that we need to be
A lot of people
better
hard on him in the
than we were
comments
today
on this.
In all three phases. And as the head coach, that's my responsibility to look at everything and do the things that you need to do to do that.
Positive.
Shane, you
At least
mentioned
Beamer's
how those
positive
players
about
from the
next year.
seniors
I'm positive
also
we're going to be
have
lucky to
discussed
get to
throughout the
500
season.
next season.
Do you have to have more concern for the freshmen, the true freshmen, who are going through this, and it's their only
M. Colt
season
says, start the
about,
rebuild now.
reinforcing them that, hey, things are going to get better?
Yeah, I don't know if I need to reinforce it. I mean, I want guys here that love football and love to compete, and we got a lot of guys in that locker room.
And we would love to have a coach that
After
knows how to
every
coach.
game, we always have the seniors that have played their last game. We let them talk. We talk about them at the hotel on Friday night. Our coaches.
Not this year, Bennett. No upsets, buddy.
Talk about the players in the meeting, and then in the locker room after the game, after our last game, we always have the seniors get up and talk, to the team and kind of send their final words.
And the team
goodbyes,
laughing
whatever.
as they're
And that
walking
was
off the field
message by a lot
just
of those
goes to
guys
show
today.
you
It was just,
how bad the coaching is on
time-
this football
thing
team.
flies by and
The
don't
leadership.
take it for granted and never
The
feel
kids
the
are
same
laughing
again.
while they're losing.
And understand the message from a lot of them was, understand how special it is here and how close this football team is. Guys that transferred here from other places, Rick, that talked about
What
how
are we
it's
close
not
to
like
again?
this
He
in
loves
other
to be close
programs,
to
just
something.
the
We're
culture
close
and
at
the
playing
connection that we
good. We're
have
close
in that
together.
locker room. So there were some great messages from those guys, and
We're
I
closer
hope
to
that
the
it resonated
losing
with
than
everybody in that
winning.
room.
I
Freshmen,
don't know.
sophomores, juniors, coaches, everyone.
Shane, a bit of a two-parter. Dylan, I don't think played very much in the fourth quarter. Is he okay?
Yeah, he said his back flared up and he wasn't able to go.
And with Lenoris,
Dylan Stewart with back problems.
From the way he finished last year.
Beamer's
Yeah,
buyout is
certainly, I think he was player of
$27.9
this
million.
season, David, when you finish
Chump
with
change in
what
college
we just
football
finished
these
with.
days.
We had a lot of guys that did some really, really good
You can
things this season.
negotiate it on down and get him out the
A
door.
lot of
After that pick
plays
six,
and moments that
they
we
did
need to
Pant
be
Sellers
better
on
at,
the
and that's
sideline,
all
and
us,
he looked like
me,
he was
every
laughing.
coach and
Yeah,
staff
they
member
always
here,
do, dude.
and every
That ain't nothing
every
new.
player. But again,
I actually shocked we didn't
we're gonna
hear
get
no
it right.
serious hot seat talk after Bloomington. Oh,
Disappointing
it's coming.
way to finish a disappointing season, to say the least.
It's
But
still too early for that yet, Bennett.
could not
But
be
I
more
guarantee you
excited
that
about
shit's going to
what's
heat up
next as we move forward with
later
like
this
you said, the
afternoon and
freshman
tomorrow.
signing class we're signing on Wednesday, the players that are returning, and how we're going to make this team better, because there's a lot of teams that are, sitting there right now, David, getting ready to punch their berth to the college football playoff. That
The Fury people are gone, though. The Mike Fury for offensive coordinator.
Fully
That one's
confident that
dead.
we're going to be one of those teams next year.
Complimentary football was non-existent most of this.
Right?
No leadership.
Huh?
Not been leadership on this football team all season.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate all your help throughout the year, too, and the job you guys do.
There's no leadership on this football team. There's no leadership. There's no discipline. There's nothing. There's only love. We have to love one another. This team loves each other. They're close together. They're all this and they're all that. You know what? They're not winning. They're not winning. You guys tell me, should Shane Beamer be fired tomorrow? I know his confidence in is he still thinks he has a job in 2026 because that all came out this past week. Should he have a job in 2026? We know all the sunshine pumping people from the Coastal game right now has flipped their wig on this because a lot of people was putting that automatic win against Clemson. I said, hey, aren't we a little bit early on keeping Beamer for 2026? What if he doesn't win? I'm not a South Carolina fan, but if Vandy and Indiana can all of a sudden become top 10, 15, no excuse. Yeah, especially with the transfer portal, NIL. Yeah, I knew you were a Georgia fan, Bennett. Yeah, I mean, it's still. Look, people can say whatever they want to. You go out there, you hire the right coach. You can. This team. Look, if you had to revamp the whole offensive line, what difference does it make? They haven't been good. Now, I get it. You don't want to lose all your young wide receivers, but, I mean, honestly, none of them has gotten to the point where you would lose your number one wide receiver if that's Harbor. I think Nick's not going to transfer. If Nick does anything, he'll go to NFL or he'll be back at South Carolina. I don't see him transferring out. Where would he go? Well, maybe he would. I don't know. I think Nick is a little bit different than the Sellers and the Stewart situation. There'd be somebody that would want him, but is he going to make more money than he's making at South Carolina if he were to transfer out? Depending on what coach you hire, too. You might not lose a lot of the kids you think you're going to lose. I don't. The only reason I'd hold back on firing him now is because of how crazy the market is now for New Haven. Yeah, but a lot of those are already getting answered. That's the thing. Virginia Tech's full. We know Kiffin is either staying at Ole Miss or going to LSU. Florida, I think they're in on Summerall, so they're not going to get Kiffin. I think they want their next man up Summerall. There's still coaches out there. But a lot of these jobs are going to be filled pretty quick. Now that the seasons are getting over with, I think you'll see more announcements made on who the coach is going to be. And there's really not that many. Oklahoma State's already hired their coach. Arkansas has offered Alex Golish, but he hasn't accepted because he probably thinks he's going to get another offer. So a lot of those open. I mean, I don't see many more big schools. I think there'll be openings, but I don't know if there'll be a lot of big schools. Oregon State hired the assistant from Alabama, so a lot of those are going to be answered. And shit, I don't think UCLA or Cal or any of them are better than South Carolina. We can get our coach. You just got to want one. You got to go out and find one. If you want to promote a guy. No one from at South Carolina, though. There's good coaches at smaller schools that have a resume of winning. I mean, I want to know how Gamecock fans feel about it, because right now I don't know how you go on another year when the whole fan base is against you. Usually when that relationship sours, and especially a coach that has done nothing but throw shade back and push back on the fan base all year, that's just bad relationship, dude. And that doesn't work out well for head coaches. To have bad relationships with the fans. I mean, he's jumped on some of the reporters. It's just, I don't know. I think you got to fire Shane Beamer. If you want my honest opinion, I don't think they do. If it were me, I'd fire him. I just don't know I don't know how the boosters even like this. You can't keep losing at home to Clemson and think the boosters are even going to support you. Every year we had to hire a coach. It's been against powerhouse teams. This is every year. Well, that's every year in college football anymore. I wouldn't be surprised if South Carolina fire Beamer after next year and then hires a guy just to be in the same situation 5 years later. I don't know, because if you think about the Beamer hired, a guy was never had the resume. This is a Ray Tanner went cheap bullshit after the payout to Muschamp. He got Shane Beamer for $2.5 million. If Shane Beamer never worked at South Carolina under Steve Spurrier and didn't have support of the former football players, he'd have never got the job. Anyone else other than Ray Tanner hiring, Shane Beamer's not the head coach at South Carolina. Just not enough resume. Steve Moore says Donati doesn't want to move on from him. I can't speak for what Jeremiah Donati wants. It's with the boosters, man. It's the ones that's going to pay the buyout. It's what they want. If they're willing to pay the $28 million and they say Beamer's got to go, then they'll go. Shane is a nice guy, but he's not a winning head coach. I don't think he's an average coach. 33-30. Get a young, hungry assistant. I know. And minus out all the Eastern Illinois and Akron's out of that 33, and then tell me what you got. What is he against Power 4 football teams? Recent history has said that the best coach you probably hire as a coordinator of a major CFB power. The best coaches in the spot right now are all coordinators. Yeah, I don't know. Ryan Day and Dan Lanning. Well, Kirk Shinetti was a Saban guy. People seem to forget that about him. They're like, Kirk Shinetti came out of nowhere. Nah, dude, he was on the Alabama coaching staff. He didn't come out of nowhere. It's not personal, it's business. Exactly. How long do we continue with bad business? South Carolina's 2026 class is currently ranked number 22 per 247. But hell, you ain't even getting enough guys to develop, man. You got, 15 guys in that class? And who says they're all going to be there by the time they sign? The warning sign against Shane Beamer should have been when he was an analyst at several different schools, but never a coordinator. I've said that too, Bennett. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I wonder if anybody will try to hire Matt Patricia from Ohio State after next year, but he might install a pro-style offense. Yeah, I don't know. That's not what South Carolina needs. Brent Key was a Saban guy also. Yes, sir, he was. I don't know. There's coaches out there. You got to go find them. You got to do your homework. You got to make phone calls. I mean, let's not forget Donati hired Sonny Dykes and at TCU, and it worked out well. So it's just go out there and find the guy. Would Alex Golish be one of those guys that Bennett's talking about? I mean, he's a Tennessee guy. You got to have a defense, and you got to have some depth if you're going to run that kind of offense. I thought he had signed with Arkansas, but they said no, he backed off of that. So I think he's looking for an offer. I don't know. Brent Key, yeah, we went through that. Do we trust the coaching staff to develop any players? So far, I'd say no. Honestly, we developed some transfers. We developed Rocket Sanders. Did we? No, he was already good when he got here, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the guys that South Carolina brought in were already good before they got to South Carolina. They weren't developed here. They were transfer guys. If you look through our roster, who's the guy that we developed on a homegrown roster? I mean, the defensive guys last year, I guess you would say, but hell, they all had to go to be seniors. Nicky Mamori. I mean, some guys are just going to be good. They don't need as much development. But this offensive line, everybody thought, remember, it was going to be the Great Wall of Carolina. Dudes ain't developed. They're terrible. Beamer gets fired. Sunday Dykes will definitely be a candidate due to the Donati catching. That's what I thought too. Now, whether South Carolina's got enough money to pull him out of TCU, I don't know. The Sonny Dykes, he's a little bit older of a guy too. Does he want to come into the SEC? Maybe. Shane Beamer's had 2 5-star quarterbacks look worse their second season in there. Facts, brother. And he's been through as many offensive coordinators now as Muschamp went through. His record against the SEC is worse than Will Muschamp's. But we fired Will Muschamp, and everybody loves Shane Beamer. I don't get it. Bennett hasn't his team fallen off since 2022. He's still been winning. But Texas Tech's pretty much dominated the Big 12. They got all that billionaire dude. BYU's played well. Utah. I mean, I think they've lost. They're still a winning program. But no, they haven't made it back to the playoffs. But the Big 12 hasn't been competitive in the playoffs, period. Josiah Thompson's not developed at all. No, they put size on him and he looks slower. If you want me to be honest, Andrew. Rattler looked better in 23 compared to most of 22, but team as a whole was worse. Yeah, have TCU's currently 7-4, could finish 8-4. That's what I'm saying. They're not losing. They're not 4-8. I get it. It's the Big 12, but it's just like anything. You're within your conference, so you're competing against the same talent, except for Texas Tech. Texas Tech just went out and they bought themselves a damn football team. Stampede said we are ass. Brother, man, nobody wanted this team to be more successful. And I was with South Carolina wasn't going to overhype them. I said at the beginning of the season, probably around an 8-4 team. If you were 7-5, I guess you wouldn't have looked at it too negative. That's one below what I expected. If you were 9-3, that's an improvement. Anything above that, I thought would be great. But, dude, 4-8 was not something I expected. And I don't think any Gamecock expected this team to be a 4-8 team. If anybody would have asked us at the beginning of the season, is it a better chance South Carolina's 8-4 or 4-8? I guarantee you 99.9% of the Gamecock fans would have said 8-4. Not a lot of people would have said 4-8. Not with the talent we knew that was coming back on this football team. It just bad decisions before the season ever start. Andrew says nobody saw 4-8 coming. No, I guarantee you. Even the most negative Gamecock fan that I know would have never said 4-8. The most pessimistic negative Gamecock fan out there would have never thought this team would have fallen to a 4-8. With Sellers returning, Stewart, Harbor, older wide receiver core in general. Look for improvement on O-line because all those guys were older. Question was the defense in the middle. Defensive line was way better than people thought they were going to be. Linebackers played, I think, good. So the defense to me was better than what people thought they would be at the beginning of the year, just because we didn't know and we had to replace a lot. The defense to me failed when on the plays it needed to make the play. But the offense did not help. You can't rush for minus yards, and that's not the first time this year that South Carolina's done that, man. And it was all blamed on Shula, and now we know it's not Shula. It's in development. It's just ridiculous of this football team to be this bad. And some shit's got to change. You can't go a 8-win season, then a 5-win season, 9-win season, then a 4-win season, and then you're not beating you're only beating the teams you should beat. All 4 games that South Carolina won this year, you should have won. Anything that was a 50-50 shot or right around that you win the football game, you lost. And then all Beamer can talk about is we were close in the fourth quarter, and then you didn't win, dude. I thought our defense would take a step back. But they did not, but our offense sucked. Yeah, the defense wasn't as good as last year, and I don't think anybody expected it was going to be. And then if we think back all through the year, every time a running back started getting good, they'd set him on the bench. Every time a wide receiver would have a good game. I mean, this is the first time we heard of Dre Jacobs in 4 or 5 games now after he had a couple 100-yard games in a row? And then he went ghost. And then it was Pup Sellers or Harbor had over 100 yards today, but it's so sporadic and out there that it doesn't, the offense just doesn't look like it has any rhythm, any continuity, they get started and there's some issue. And I know you're going to hear a lot about the officials and all the shit from today, but I'm looking at the whole picture of the whole season. And the officials didn't make us 4-8 on this season. There's just no way you can blame it. The blame falls where it's got to be, and I've said it before. It falls on Shane Beamer. You kept Teasley knowing he wasn't a good offensive line coach because you're a recruiter and you want recruiters. You're a salesman that sells South Carolina fans a bunch of snake oil and bullshit. And a lot of older Gamecock fans don't buy the bullshit because we've been sold snake oil all our damn lives. TA said they should just cancel the program. If they're not going to take it serious and hire a serious coach and want to really win and put the money in it, maybe they should. Then I wouldn't be accused of being a quitter. I'd just go find me another football team to pull for. Where was Malazio Bennett? Another guy, disappeared all year. Why did he wait too late just to see a little bit of how when he is clearly a good running back? And then we didn't see him this game. We went back to Faison, so. Like Faison's going to help us next year, y'all. It's done. The one good thing about y'all missing the playoffs last season is probably saved y'all's AD from giving him some praise. Well, our current AD wasn't involved in that bullshit. That was Ray Tanner. Oh, Lord. Now my stuff done reset. But it wasn't, our AD wasn't the problem. It was our former AD that's the problem. All right, what is going on with my stuff now? Come on. Having technical difficulties. Sorry about that, y'all. I had technical difficulties. My screen went out on me. But yeah, it's our other. Andrew also says we didn't see Michael Smith either, and that's why he left. Sound like Smith didn't practice hard enough and put in enough effort in practice. That's what they say. That's what we hear. Yep, run game non-existence, and then we got it going a little bit, and then they went away from it. No consistency. And that's been all year. That's been all damn year. What's up, Seth? Seth says that I don't understand how we have so many highly rated offensive line recruits and none of them turn out to be all SEC guys, but teams like Mizzou don't recruit like we do there, and they do because they go out and get guys out of the portal. They know how to evaluate. We obviously our evaluations is off, and our development has to be terrible because Beamer only wants recruiters, dude. That's all he gives a shit about is recruiting. That's all that ever comes out of his mouth. Well, I had to go out and recruit, or I had to go see a recruit. That's what he is. So, Beamer, go be what you are and be a recruiter, dude, because that's what you love. We want a damn head football coach. I don't want a head effing recruiter around here. Everybody always says, well, you got to recruit well, recruit in the top 5. What good does it do to you to recruit well if you can't develop the guys you recruited? Shane Beamer is Will Muschamp 2.0, except he has Butch Jones' personality. Yes, champions of life, baby. And at all costs, avoid the real conversations. And of course, our reporters ain't going to ask in any type of situation. They're not going to ask him shit because they don't want to lose their credentials. Everybody wants to kiss Shane Beamer's ass or post pictures because he took a picture with you and your family. We got, for the love of God, stop all that. It's about winning football games. Man makes $8.15 million to win football games, not to post them pictures with your family and become your friend. Separate your heart from your damn head and look at the reality of this football team. And it is not good. This team is not good. Coaching decisions and hirings has all been on Shane Beamer. Now, if you wanted to count Mike Bobo, this is going to be what? How many offensive coordinators? 4? Or 5? That'd be 5 now, right? The administration is to blame. They accept this losing culture. We talked about that too at Gamecock. The problem with this administration is they're a bunch of old-blooded South Carolina fucking tightwads that set up there, and they want to make money off of this program. They don't want to put the money back into it. We've never, and you go back to whatever area you choose, but anytime we have sustainable preseason hype and expectations, we shit the bed every single time. Every time. Tell me 1 year is wrong. 3 11-win seasons in a row, Mark, under Spurrier. Now, if you're just talking about Shane Beamer, then yes. If you're talking about Will Muschamp, yes. But Spurrier did have 3 11-win seasons in a row after coming off of going to a SEC championship game. So I'd say that's 4 years in a row we backed up expectations. Beamer did a good job last year developing defensive guys like Nicky Moore. But that's not Beamer. That's Torian Gray, Andrew. Torian Gray goes out and finds his own guys, and he tells Beamer who he wants, and he goes out and recruits those guys. Beamer's more of a closer than identifying. Torian Gray identifies his own people. He went and found Nicky Mawari. He even actually found DQ Smith. Now, DQ hasn't had the career of a Nicky Mawari. But just think about some of the guys that weren't very good at South Carolina that ended up guys like Foster and had shots in the NFL under Torian Gray. to be fair, Beamer gets hired for. Well, he kept Torian on, but they're buddies. I don't know. The problem is because South Carolina traditionally has never been an SEC power. This is true, Bandit. This is true. To be fair, Beamer gets credit for hiring Torres as an assistant and having him develop. Yeah, you can say that. But then you can look for every good assistant that Beamer's hired. You can point out some bad ones too. But Torian Gray was at Virginia Tech when Beamer was there, so that's pretty much a friendship hire. They're buddies. And he worked with. Hell, how many coaches does Beamer have that didn't work with him at some point in time somewhere? Or knew him? Can he hire anybody that's not his friend? That'd be a good question. But yeah, season's over with, guys. We can pretty much now it's just gonna be all about the rumors. Beamer stays, fired, who he hires for offensive coordinator, who he don't hire, does he fire any other staff members? Mama Tori says it's dinner time. But I'm getting ready to jump off of here. I'm gonna go eat some dinner. I gotta help Mama Tori get some stuff done tonight with the Christmas tree. And forget this season, forget this game for at least the rest of this night. I'll go enjoy watching some Alabama Auburn. Tennessee just tied up against Vanderbilt 14-14. LSU, Oklahoma's tied at 3. Beamer's Fair, they did 50-50 as hirings. Right. And most of these guys have been defensive guys. That's been successful. Pete Limbo was a great hire and a great loss to this football team, probably more than any of us realize. Oh, Malcolm says, Seller's still laughing and smiling in press conference. Says he'll do what's best for him in regards to transferring. Oh, of course he's going to do what's best for him. Highest bidder right there. That's basically what he's telling you. Whoever comes with the best offer, depending on what we do at offensive coordinator, all that ha-ha, rah-ha bullshit. If that's the way Sellers is going to be, then let him move on. And no, we're not letting one player hold this football team hostage. No one's above the whole. I don't give a damn who it is. You can always become a Georgia fan if you like. I do like Georgia. I actually have Georgia. What, I got a koozie? You know me, Bandit. I don't talk shit about other teams, dude. I try to pay the most respect to football teams as I can. Now, if another fan comes on here trash talking me, expect me to throw some shit back at him. Hasn't Torian Gray put a ton of DBs in the league? I don't think they're all there still, but yeah, over his career as a DB coach, he definitely is. Looking back at South Carolina football over the decades, it feels like South Carolina has been decent and good on defense and subpar offensive historically. Yes. And that's why people that want to yell and scream at me when I bring up Bobby Petrino's name, the dude over the years has still put up offensive points no matter where he's been or what he's done. We're not asking Bobby Petrino to be a head coach. We're asking him to come in and run a damn offense. People get that mistakenly bad. Him and Kilgore were all about me. What the fuck? Nothing new. Really Kilgore, really Sellers. I'll go back and watch their stuff. But like I said, I'm going to get out of here, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for subscribing. And we'll probably put a video out once I get to go back through. I want to sit down and rethink the season and talk about the whole season as a whole. Probably sometime if I get a chance tomorrow, I'll put a video out. You guys make sure you hit that notification bell. I'd had my goal of trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the season, but I don't think I'm going to reach that goal. But we'll see. It ain't the end of the football season yet. It's just the end of South Carolina's football season. Matt Dumit, we'll talk to you later, buddy. Kirby is smart for sure. But we'll holler at y'all later. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Enjoy your evening. And the season is over for Gamecock football. And we don't have to be stressed next Saturday. We can watch football and enjoy it for the rest of the season. Until next time, guys. Peace.